after a dramatic sprint race on Saturday afternoon. Later in the day, we got qualifying for the Grand Prix around the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. The USGP qualifying session definitely produced a lot of surprises, and it set us up for another dramatic race on Sunday afternoon. But what were the 5 main highlights? What were the 5 things we learned from this? Let's dive in. Let's have a look. So, first of all, Alex Albon. I mean, it was a good weekend for Williams up until this point, but unfortunately, his weekend seemed to have come unstuck. He ran wide at turn 15, went over the track limits. He would have got through to Q2 if it wasn't for that, but unfortunately, he did go wide. Colapinto went through. He did not. He's down in P19, pretty much at the back. I'd be surprised if he doesn't take some engine components on or start from the pit lane or something like that, just to avoid all the chaos that will probably ensue ahead of him going into turn 1. But yeah, not a good one for Albon. Sainz was a relatively respectable P9, but Williams not with a good qualifying session overall in Austin. Next up, Ferrari. Things are looking up for them on the other hand. I mean, they didn't have a good qualifying for the sprint race, but they did recover it in the sprint race to get some good points positions, and they look pretty solid in qualifying today, it must be said. Charles Leclerc all the way up in P3. Of course, Charles Leclerc is the guy that won the Grand Prix 12 months ago. I don't think he'll manage to do that this time around, but it's certainly possible that he's going to get a podium. Sir Lewis Hamilton as well up in P5, top 5 finish effectively in the qualifying, just like they were in the sprint race as well. Very, very good Saturday for Ferrari. Hopefully they can convert it to a positive result on Sunday. Ollie Behrman of Ferrari Junior, let's speak about him next. Arguably the best performer in qualifying, although I do think someone else probably took that crown today. More on him later. But Ollie Behrman up in P8, really, really doing a good job. I mean, we were talking a few weeks ago about this guy potentially getting a race ban, and that might still happen if he gets involved in an incident during the race. It is still possible, of course. I hope it doesn't happen. But on the track right now, in terms of his overall performance, this guy is absolutely tearing it up, particularly in qualifying. He got a good points finish in Singapore a couple of weeks ago, and it looks like he could well get one around the Circuit of the Americas this weekend as well. He got P8, which is a mile ahead of his teammate Esteban Ocon, who was almost 10 places down on him. P17, the Frenchman, the more experienced of the two Haas drivers, will start, but Behrman flying the flag, quite literally, because they've got the stars and stripes on their livery this weekend, have the Haas. But yeah, really impressive from Behrman. McLaren, though, mixed day to say the very least. Lando Norris, P2, not bad at all. Not a bad effort at all from the Briton, but his Aussie teammate, the championship leader, Oscar Piastri, down in P6. Now, only 2/10 separated them in qualifying, but that's a lot of places and a lot of cars he's got to get through. The 2 Ferraris are in there, as is George Russell, who qualified in P4. It's going to be a really, really big uphill task for him, unfortunately. He's starting on the dirty side of the grid as well, so he'll do well not to lose any positions. He'll be a bit nervous after what happened in the sprint race, no doubt, going up turn 1 on Sunday, so we'll see how that evolves. But yeah, Piastri with it all to do. Norris, though, he has work to do. Will he be able to get the win on Sunday? I'm not so sure, to be honest, because Max Verstappen managed to get pole position again. He got sprint pole early in the weekend. He got pole position for the Grand Prix on Saturday as well, and he won it. And he got it by 3/10 as well. That is a big, big margin. I mean, McLaren have been not the best overall in qualifying throughout this season. They've had quite a few poles, but not by the biggest margins for the most part. But, you know, Verstappen in that Red Bull right now is on fire. And he obviously didn't have the McLarens to contend with during the sprint race, but he looked absolutely comfortable for the majority of it, apart from when George Russell had that lunge. So, yeah, I think Verstappen will take some real beating on Sunday. I really, really do. I think it's going to be very difficult for the competition. Can Lando Norris do it? Well, obviously he couldn't overtake him in Singapore despite having a much faster car. So we'll see what happens, guys. I'm sure it's going to be a fantastic race on Sunday around Austin, Texas. But what were your main highlights from qualifying? Let me know in the comments below. Thank God as well that Isack Hadjar is all right after his crash. He crashed out right at the start of qualifying, unfortunately for him, and he lines up at the very, very back. But yeah, see you soon, guys, for much more content on the world of Formula 1 just like this. The F1 News Zone will be out shortly as well, covering all the weekend's events and beyond. So yeah, see you soon, guys. Have a good one.